What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike. Oh, I don't like this lighting. Oh, that lighting's better right there. What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike. Today I've been on a content tear, making what I'm sure is probably some controversial content. And I was sitting here bored after dinner, so I thought I'd get on here real quickly and talk about. I didn't really have enough content to make a whole video, so I thought I would ramble about something I've been experiencing on Trenbolone. See if anybody else shows up with some other topics of conversation. So one of the things that I've never really talked about in any of my Trenbolone videos is something that I've grown to call Tren Apnea. A lot of people talk about doing steroids and getting sleep apnea. I regularly get asked if I have this condition because I have a rather large neck. My neck has gotten to over 18 inches. I do not, as far as I know or my wife knows, actually experience sleep apnea. But what I do experience, there's actually another term for it. It's called email apnea. I don't know if you've ever looked into this. Basically, when I'm on Tren throughout the day, I just don't breathe. Like sometimes you'll catch it at the end of statements that I make in my videos where I'm constantly just sort of holding my breath and then it'll come out like, it just comes out in like these spurts. I don't even notice it. And but for years since I've been taking Tren, I've had it brought up to me by a number of people. My kids regularly ask, like, Dad, are you okay? I've had coworkers that used to ask me about it. My wife is constantly bringing it up. I don't hear the sound that I make, but apparently I just constantly quit breathing throughout the day, and it comes out. My breathing comes out in this panting sort of a way that I don't even notice, but I only experience it on Tren. And so I'm just curious if anybody else has ever had that experience. I don't know. I don't know. I can't find anything in literature as to why it would occur. The closest thing I've been able to come up with is that, um, I mean, I don't know why it would be sympathetic drive. I can't think of anything really good that would lead to this condition. I know that on Tren, I tend to be far more like my focus is way more intent on things that are going on, and so maybe it's like a level of over focus, and then like if you're working on a project, sometimes you'll stop breathing for a second, you'll catch yourself like your breath is coming in pants. I don't know what it is, but I never really noticed it, but it bothers everyone around me. So I thought I would just shoot a quick video. Like I said, I didn't have enough of I want to try there's not a 15-minute video, unfortunately, in Tren apnea. Another thing that I think I'll talk about briefly, that maybe somebody can answer for me later. I was trying to create a live stream with my wife last night. We were doing some test setup. I feel like back in the day when I used to do YouTube, it was real easy for me to create a live stream where I could have like two cameras. Like I could have her on the screen and me on the screen at the same time. And we could have like a debate back and forth or like an interview or something. And that's what I really wanted to do with her, was create a video where I could kind of interview her live and have her explain what it's been like living with a bodybuilder for all of these years, and the experiences that she as a wife goes through when I go on various cycles and all that. I thought it would be cool, rather than having just me sitting here live, to be able to have multiple people, or even potentially bring one of you guys in the audience into like a live stream one day. But the only way we found to do that is with cell phone. Like you can't go, it's called go live together. So if we both use our cell phones, then we can split the screen. But apparently currently on YouTube, there's no way to split the screen for a live video with multiple parties. I can invite her, but I can't. So excuse me, I guess I'm gonna have to use like OBS or something, because the only thing that you can do from the live portal on here is access like a control room, and then you have to put a feed. It's so stupid. I don't know why we can go live together from a mobile phone but not from a desktop, or like this MacBook, which would be infinitely better for having multiple parties than trying to cram it all on some one tiny little screen. Let's see what Street Max has got to say. I know he's massively obsessed with Sarah. Going on test, Tren, NPP, Anavar, Masteron, and doing OnlyFans with Sarah. I will. This fucking guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna go on everything. I guess while some people are coming in, I can say that I thought for a minute that my weight gain was going to flag, and I'm honestly I'm struggling to keep this cycle going because I'm starting to get fat and I'm very bloated and I hate the way I look. I miss the old diced, peeled, look that I had going. Yeah, I'm definitely looking bigger. I just don't look as good. And I'm just telling I'm like at night it's disgusting. Like I actually shot yesterday a like a pose down like I've been doing on these various different into my workout days. Like I'll shoot like what I look like after I lift. I couldn't even bring myself to post it. It looks so bad. Like there's just at the end of the night after all this food that I'm eating, if I let my gut out, it looks like I just have massive bubble gut. Thankfully, when I wake up in the mornings, I look way better. So it's just, it's just distension in my belly from the amount of food that I'm eating. I'm trying to convince myself to stay the course because I know obviously the food has to first go to my belly before it can possibly go to my biceps or my shoulders or anywhere else. Like that's, part of the game, but it's tough seeing, I'm just not used to it. I never allow myself to get to this condition. And so, it's hard to really tolerate. So yeah, I don't really have anything else. Like I said, I just wanted to come on here and let's see how these videos are doing. I put up some videos that I had a feeling were going to be, somewhat controversial. I've got a lot of ideas about how we could clean up the problems going on in our country, but I rarely talk about them because they're just audience dividing, and that's been the problem with this channel since day one, is that I'm not good at playing this. I can't be fake. I just can't do it. And so no matter what I do, I end up pissing off somebody, I'm a very conservative minded person, which pisses off liberals, but then I'm not a Christian, and that pisses off conservatives. So I have some liberal views and some conservative views. And so basically, no matter what I do, I just end up pissing off both sides of the audience, which is why Greg Doucette and, like Brandon Harding and most of these guys who are really trying to build large brands, in the social media space, they stay out of topics that polarize the audience because people are just so fucking sensitive. It's just not like things were back in the day when I was coming up, where, before cancel culture and all the drama and the whining. Now it's just impossible. But so I'm still and apparently I also can't talk about MK on here. That's another thing that happened. I don't know what's going on with my channel. I made an entire video trying to give you guys a cohesive update on what I was experiencing on the MK, and they turned the comments off on it they don't even tell you why. I can turn them back on, they show back up for like an hour or so, and I turn back and then they get turned back off, and they give you no feedback as to what exactly you did. Everything on your video, it's like monetizable, everything looks fine, everything looks exactly the way it should, but no comments. And so it's like I said in one of my other videos, it's pointless to try to it's pointless to try to have a discourse about any particular topic if you're not going to be able to actually interact with the audience. So I honestly don't know where this channel is going right now. I committed myself for a month to trying to make a tremendous amount of content and see where things would go. And while obviously the subscriber numbers continue to climb, there's no money in it at all, and it's definitively negatively affecting my ability to get a job. Like I haven't actually really started looking hard, but I feel like I've been passed over for a couple of opportunities that have landed in my lap, and I'm afraid that my social media presence is the cause of it. And if that ends up being the case, then I'm probably just going to pull the plug on the entire thing because I mean, it's like it's not worth it. I sit here and expose myself. If I spent the amount of time that I spend making YouTube videos, doing literally anything else in life, like I could go mow yards for a fucking couple hours a day, and I would make way more money than I make sitting here talking to this camera for just no reward. Like, yeah, it's nice to interact with people who agree with you and share experiences and stuff, but I just didn't think we were really living in a world where, because in my previous employment, I was just free to do whatever I wanted, like custom, my attitudes, my views, and my steroid use, and all that had no bearing on me being able to be successful in my career. But I was already really established there, and so I had a proven track record. And now it seems that trying to um, get somebody to take a risk on a new employee with the kind of polarizing views that I share is just not really working. So um yeah, I don't know whether I'm just going to take the entire thing down, honestly, or I've done a good job so far trying to hide it. Like, it doesn't come up the same way it used to, like when I search my name on Google. So maybe I'll just make a little bit more of an effort at trying to hide it. And then when I start the job search in earnest, we'll see, like, you know, no one specifically told me that's the reason. I just don't know that they will, because they're so afraid of all of the potential, liabilities from discrimination laws and shit. That's basically the whole game. We nothing in our society is genuine, because nobody feels free to actually speak their mind, because there's always some kind of consequences, which apparently I don't care about. I told my wife last night, maybe I'm just gonna have to go all the way to the dark side, and stop pulling any punches. And okay, thank you. Let's see what we got. Any data on obese clients on trend for weight loss? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Trenbolone is, like any steroid, is definitely going to help with weight loss for sure. It's going to ramp up your metabolism. It's going to have any number of effects on your metabolic profile. It's going to allow you to train a lot harder. Your strength is going to go up. And so anytime you're burning more calories, obviously you're going to have a better chance at losing weight. Nutrient partitioning is certainly a factor. So like like, I don't know what I say, like somebody who's, I mean, if you're obese from the perspective of not like the obese that I recently accomplished, like obese with six-pack abs, but if you're dealing with like true obesity, and then it would really matter like what your training experience is. I would never ever recommend somebody just jump on a trend cycle for any reason. It is definitively one of the biggest mind fuck hormones you can take. It is definitely still straining my relationship right now, but it is very, very potent in what it does. The number one thing that I would say is that if you're obese and you're trying to cut weight rapidly, and you don't want to just wither away your muscle tissue, that's like the go-to reason for trend, because it spares protein at such a high rate. There's really no other drug that I know of that will allow you to maintain muscle while being in a deep calorie deficit in the way that Trenbolone does. So, I mean, I hope that answers your question. If not, please add, let me know what exactly you're looking to find. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be potent at helping you cut. That's what the vast majority of people use it for. So yeah, I got up to 211.2 pounds last night. So weight is continuing to come on. Like I said, I'm not loving my look at all. But it's something I'll get used to, I guess. I'm committed to trying to stay the course for at least another couple of months, or at least until the gains plateau. The one thing I will tell you that I'm experiencing from the MK that is very common from every other substance that you can really use is that, I'm now gaining on 3 weeks in, I think, and my appetite is nowhere near what it used to be. A couple of times I've upped my dose to 30. I just took some a little while ago. I'm doing better eating and I'm still technically trending up on my weight, but I'm nowhere near as ravenous as I used to be. And it's starting to already weigh on me. It's already becoming like an effort to keep eating at the rate that I'm eating at. And so now what I'm really being faced with is trying to decide like how big do I really want to go? Because again, I don't really have any intentions of ever stepping on stage. So let's just say, for the sake of arguments, that with MK and all the other things that I've deployed, let's say I could get to 220 or go crazy and get to 230. Even if I get there, the only point in getting to that weight is then to be able to maintain it. And so obviously I'm going to be eating a hell of a lot more calories every day for potentially the rest of my life or for a very long period of time to stay at 230 as I did at 200. And so literally the more weight I gain, the more my cost of living goes up. It's like I used to have a BMW M340i and I could put it in like Sport Plus and it was a rocket ship. I mean, 0 to 60 in 3.6. I think it was just so much fun to drive. But if you drove it all week in Sport Plus, you're getting 13 miles the gallon. Whereas I could put it over in Sport and it was still crazy fast and fun to drive, but I get 21 miles the gallon. So the more weight that I gain, the more food I'm going to have to continue eating over a long period of time to maintain it. And so now I'm kind of at this situation, at this stage where I'm trying to decide, like, how big do I want to go so that I can determine how much I really want to maintain. So, yeah, what else? So, I don't get bigger. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Thank you, Emperor. I had to go up on my Masteron last night. The Masteron has been doing an awesome job actually of controlling my estrogen, but I am learning very rapidly from what some people said about its SERM activity. I can tell systemically that my estrogen is higher than I like it to be because I'm starting to have some rigidity issues in the bedroom, but my nipple, I have no gyno. So it's crazy because the Masteron is preventing the gyno, but the estrogen is still elevated systemically in my body, that it's causing problems elsewhere. So I was running 300 milligrams of Masteron, 300 milligrams of Test, 300 milligrams of Tren, and starting yesterday, I bumped it up, and I'm now running 400 milligrams of Masteron, 300 milligrams of Test, 300 milligrams of Tren, and we're going to see if that brings my E2 back down to where I want it to be. Yeah, you hear me breathing probably. When you start breathing heavy from just existing, that's when lifespan goes down the drain. Yeah, man. I'll be honest. My breathing is bad. I've told my wife a couple of times recently that, like, if I was breathing like this for any other reason in life, I would be in the emergency room. Like I feel great in the gym. Like that's the weird part. Like if I'm in the gym, like I'm never in a situation in the gym where I feel like I don't have enough stamina or anything to work out as hard as I want. I have a pulse ox at home. My pulse ox is always at like 98%. But just getting up, moving around, walking around, like I'm always with labored breathing. I mean, just sitting here talking, like when I finish a sentence, it's like deep breaths in between. I think that's just due to my size. I remember I have an old training video that Jay Cutler did. I mean, he was obviously way bigger than me, but he was just sitting at the dinner table and he was talking about, he was going over his meals for the day, and he's sitting there and he's shoveling food in his face and he's just panting. Everywhere the guy went, he was just panting. And I remember this is like way early in the beginning of my relationship. My wife was like, "Oh my God, that's so gross. Why is he panting like that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. A lot of them do that." And it's like, it's like fat people, like people who are overweight because of fat sound just like me being overweight because of muscle. Um, Mike, in my experience, it doesn't take much food to maintain your new higher weight than to get there. Okay, good point, Orange Diamond. You just got to hold it there for a few months. Okay, that's a very valid point, Orange Diamond. Thank you for mentioning that. You're right. You're absolutely right. I had not thought about that. I was shocked when we went on that 66-day road trip. I thought I was going to lose it all, man. Like because it was really more than just that road trip. We had the RV thing that we did for a little while. There was like a 6-month period at the end of beginning of this year, I guess, where I was just phoning it in as far as my eating and training went. And you're right. It is surprisingly easy to maintain whatever weight you've built. So that's a really valid point, that I think I need to remind myself of, that I'm just having to eat a massive amount right now to grow the new tissue. And then once I get it there, I should be able to hold on to it. So thank you for that. Dude, I'm the same. I recently took a video of me showing my buddy my room, and I could hear myself breathing heavy as fuck. And that's my norm. Currently try to downsize. Yeah, I think it just goes with the territory, man. I hope. I don't know for sure, but like I said, it is, like, they say that being overweight, the body doesn't care whether it's muscle or whether it's fat. You're putting the same strain on your cardiopulmonary system. And so, like, that's one of the reasons I quit making those walking videos that I used to do out in my, like, walking in my street. Well, that and the fact that it's freezing outside, but man, trying to walk up and down the street in front of my house and shoot videos, I was getting gassed. I I couldn't keep up. It doesn't help that I'm a complete loser and I do zero cardio. The only cardio I do is in the bedroom with my wife. Like, that's it. I don't set foot on any kind of cardio machine ever. The other thing I think that contributes is that when I'm on GH and a bunch of shit, my resting pulse is usually pretty high. And so it doesn't take shit for, getting up and walking across the living room, put my pulse over like 116. So, it's not unreasonable that you'd be breathing heavier than usual if your pulse is at 116 beats a minute. So what else can I tell you? Weight's still going up. Strength is good in the gym, but not anything spectacular. I'm hoping my wife is going to make a video soon. I'm going to just leak some data. She's been tinkering with Primo, and she's only been on for a couple weeks now and already really starting to see some results. I was shocked by what she was telling me, how much her lifts have gone up in 2 weeks. Like, we weren't arguing about it, but I was basically telling her, like, you're having some kind of crazy placebo effect, because her strength has gone up markedly in only 2 weeks on Primo, which actually has me nervous because, yeah, dude, carpentry, I'm very puffy. Like, no, she's not getting any virilization. But her sex drive is up, and her strength in the gym is up. You can see that I'm carrying, like, the cuts in my shoulders, the vascularity. Like, even if I flex, the vascularity is nowhere near what it used to be. I'm way, way fuller looking, just all over. You can see abs, but, like, this lighting is terrible. But I'm definitely very, very puffy, which is, I think, another reason why I think my estrogen is high. I mentioned in one of my videos of the day, that I am starting to get some legit edema. Like, at the end of the night, the tops of my feet are wet. Like, you can't see the ligaments of my feet, and the tops of my feet, they're swollen. And so I don't know how much longer. I started out not expecting any of this to happen. She's taking 20 milligrams. Sarah's dose currently is 20 milligrams of Primobolan and that's it. She was on 3 milligrams of testosterone. She skipped a week. She didn't do a shot for 1 week, and then she started the Primo shots. I wanted her to do them together. She decided that she wanted to do Primo by itself first, so she could tell what was causing what. She is on growth hormone as well. I think she takes 1 or 2 IUs a day of growth. I can't remember. She may be on 2. So she's on a little bit of Primo, a little bit of growth, and the test. She's been off the test now for like 3, going on 4 weeks. So it's not completely out of her system, but it's pretty much gone. So that could be the reason for the strength gains early on in an inundate cycle, is that maybe she had a little something left over. I spit on my screen. A little something left over from her test cycle. I don't know. But she has not been feeling the growth. Like, she's not been, I get on growth hormone and dude, I get freakishly peeled in my legs real fast. And it has not given her the same effect. She's looking really good right now. Her belly is coming in real tight. And so we're excited to see what happens when she really gets full blown into the Primo. But I don't know. So far, so good. She's having some good results early on. So we'll see how that goes. What else? So I'm trying to stabilize. You can see my nipples are puffy, but they're definitely not lit up in the back like they usually do when I have gyno. So it's not really gyno. And right now I'm still running 0 Arimidex. I can't even believe it. No, everybody keeps asking about EQ. I've never tried EQ. EQ, I get asked about EQ and I'm not picking on anybody. I know everybody's curious. I get asked about EQ so much that it's like borderline made me not ever want to do it. It's like my brother used to constantly, my brother would find some song that he really liked, and he'd be like, dude, have you heard this song? Have you heard this song? And he would like keep reminding me to listen to this song. And like, he would fucking push this song on me so much that like I hated it before I even listened to it. And like every fucking video I make, somebody is talking about EQ greater than mass, in my opinion. So that's the reason that I have the one reason. If I ever try EQ, I would definitively do it because of what you're saying, that it stimulates appetite. I steered clear of it for 2 reasons. One, because I knew that it had some anti-estrogen component to it that nobody really fully understands, and I don't like that. It's the mass just fucked up my estrogen and caused a really bad week for my wife and I, and so I didn't want to take the risk of putting something in there that was going to cause E2 problems. But and then the secondary thing is I hear that it just mass produces red blood cells, and I hate going to donate. I'm already purple, like all over. You see that? Like, if I touch my skin, I'm like so red all over all the time. I don't know if that's from my hemoglobin seems to be in line, but I'm just red all the time. I've heard that shit makes people turn purple nearly. So I may eventually do it. I don't know. Running 300 milligrams of NPP and 600 milligrams of test. Any suggestions on what else to run with it to bulk? Nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, 600 milligrams of test, 300 milligrams of NPP. I mean, you're on 900 milligrams on a bulk, eat a bunch of food, you should be good. I mean, you could up either one of those compounds, I guess, if you really wanted to. You could, put some kind of oral in the mix. Like you could add Anadrol, I guess, if you wanted. That might not be bad because you're already on NPP. So you're either sensitive to you're either sensitive to prolactin or you're not. If you're not sensitive to the prolactin, then throw in some Anadrol 50s if you got it, and that might give you an extra little, a little bit more bang for your bulk as far as gaining on that cycle. I'm running 2 and 1 test and Tren. Should I just do 2 and 2? Panther, I don't get into this whole ratio thing. Like, a lot of people talk about ratios. I've never seen any scientific data about this. I don't think it fucking matters, man. Like right now I'm running 1-to-1, but that has nothing to do with like me intentionally trying to run 1-to-1. It's just the way that it worked out. Like I've run 200 milligrams of test and 550 milligrams of Tren. I've run Tren at 550 milligrams with 750 milligrams of test. I've run a couple of 350 milligram Tren cycles and 550 milligrams of test. And every time I run a cycle, no matter what it is, like if I run a cycle where my Tren is higher than my test, there'll be somebody in the comments going, you need to make them 1-to-1 or the test always needs to be higher. And then if I make a video saying, well, my test is higher, my Tren is lower, then there'll be somebody else in the comments saying, oh no, you need to make them 1-to-1 or the Tren higher. So it's like, no matter what you do, there's always somebody telling you that you should have done it different. And that's the thing with this game is like, there's no fucking win. Everybody's always got some fucking idea that they claim is better than another. And at the end of the day, I just run what I run and then I adjust depending on how my body reacts. How's your energy on your current GH dose? 4 IUs and higher makes me not want to do anything but sleep. Yeah, so the four IUs of GH, like if I start there, I'll have all kinds of problems. So I usually start at 2 IUs and then go up 1 or 2 IUs at a time. The lethargy is brutal, but it will go away if you stay on a particular dose. So even at 4 IUs, it may take you 2-3 weeks possibly, but the lethargy will go away when your body adjusts to it and you won't even feel it anymore. So you can definitely run. I've run 4 IUs for 6+ months, and it's just those first 2 to 3 weeks that kick your ass. I've made videos saying I don't know how guys that work for a living can start GH in the middle and keep a job. Like there's no way there's no way I'd make it. So you'll be fine if you just stay with that one dose for long enough. 1-to-1 test Primo is well established. Sustanon 500, Mast E 400, Anavar 50 milligrams per day is my go-to. Love Tren, but feels so good. Yeah. I've also never taken Sustanon ever. I know a lot of people love that shit. I don't fucking like multiple different. I just want one ester. I'm just like a control freak. I want everything to be simple so that I control exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, dude. If you're still feeling Panther, if you're still feeling lethargy after like 3 weeks into the growth, I might take a look at that. It should not last long term at all. The only time I feel ratios matter is when you're relying on an androgen for E2 control. Yeah, I can see that. I've seen 90% of guys perfect on a 3-2 ratio of test to EQ, for example. Yeah, okay, so that definitely makes sense, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now for test and mast is like, what is my ratio of testosterone to masteron going to be? But as far as Trenbolone and test or I don't know why that ratio would matter. Maybe if you're cutting, you want a lower amount of test because you want as little water retention as possible. But for bulking, I don't think it matters. But yeah, I am definitely trying to find the proper ratio for my mast and test right now. Are you done doing shows? I've never done a show, bro. If you are, how much longer are you going to continue doing cycles? What is your purpose of doing these cycles? Just to look good, psychological. Yeah, thanks, Char Arch. I have never done a show. I did not start doing steroids until I was 39 years old. I don't really ever have any intention on competing. One of the biggest reasons for that, there's 2 reasons for that. One, I don't fucking work legs like I should. And so I could only ever do maybe like men's physique or some shit. I don't think I have anywhere near big enough legs for like classic. And I don't have any desire to grow tree trunk legs. I fucking hate legs. And so I've never competed because I think my legs would kill me. And 2, I don't compete because I'm 43 now. Like I could go do a master show. I could win some like little local shows maybe. But I feel like the thing that kills most bodybuilders or does the most damage to bodybuilders is not the bulking and cutting like in the way that like I do. I think it's all the diuretics and the extreme weight loss. And I think it's the competitions that kill these guys and girls. And so for me, like I'm not going to be a pro. I'm not going anywhere. Even if I got my pro card like as a master's division, I don't know why it would help, and it's just going to put a lot of strain on my family. So the reason for me doing gear is just to maximize my quality of life. Honestly, gear, I'm just kind of one of these guys that's wired to always want to push the envelope. I've been a drug addict off and on my entire life. I was an alcoholic. I just can't cope with just like stagnancy and normalcy. And so if I get clean and sober for any length of time, I just feel like I'm sitting around wasting my life. And I always want to like push the limits somehow. And then I end up doing street drugs or alcohol, which has had a catastrophic effect on my life. And so when I started doing steroids, I found a way that I can always feel like I have a meaning and purpose in life. And I get a lot of the same rewards from Test and Tren and Anavar that I got from like amphetamines. Like I feel a lot of dopaminergic effects from the compounds that I use. And so I've just fallen in love with the lifestyle. I'm just purely a lifestyle bodybuilder. I lift to look good, to feel good, to perform good. I don't want to feel my age. I don't want to be a 43-year-old man who like has sex with his wife a few times a week or a few times a month. Like I want to feel like I'm 18 or 21 for as long as possible. And that's the reason that I choose the compounds that I choose, because I just want to be virile and strong and driven and just feel like a fucking man. You know, I don't want to turn into my dad. He's just like letting life take him away. And that's just not for me. So I'm really just a lifestyle bodybuilder, and I use various different compounds for their psychological purposes. So that's the answer to that, Char Arch. The fucking Trensta. Loving your channel, bro. Keep the videos coming. Thank you, sir. I will try to do that. See, I got my candy. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep the content coming, man. Do me a favor and watch my videos that are not about Tren. It fucking beats me up when I make videos. I made a whole bunch of videos about sex last night, and nobody even watched those. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Sitting here sharing dirty experiences. Nobody's watching my sex videos. Superdrol for lethargy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm chewing. My bad. I've never done Superdrol. I will never do Superdrol. My liver can barely tolerate Anavar. I really just don't like oral. I mean, I love orals in a lot of ways. Superdrol is just not for me. It's too toxic from what I hear. Any experience with less than 100? Yes. Imp to you. I ran 50 milligrams of Trenbolone per week for 1 year straight. I have a video about it. So 50 milligrams of Tren for 1 year straight. My biomarkers were all perfectly in range. I was able to maintain a lot of unnatural strength on 50 milligrams of Tren. I was able to maintain a lot of the aesthetic. It allowed me to be able to travel and not do all the best of eating and still stay phenomenal looking. I have a picture that I took that I shared on X last night of me like 3/4 of the way into our 66-day road trip, where we've been hiking every day, spending long hours in the car, not eating good. And I was fucking ripped. I mean, nasty 6-pack abs, just tan. You know, I wasn't as big as I am now, but I look fucking great. And I absolutely attribute that to the Tren. I can't imagine, honestly, like I'll probably be on Tren for life, dude. Like at least at like 50 milligrams. I have no side effects at all to 50 milligrams of Tren per week, and I get a lot of positives. If you dig through my channel history, I made a video titled "What It Feels Like to Do Tren for a Year," I think, and that talks all about my 50 milligram Trenbolone cycle for a year. I've run Tren at 100 milligrams a week with little to no side effects. Like I would say no side effects. 100 milligrams is about the cutoff. Anything above 100, and I start having a lot of side effects. I'm having a lot of side effects right now on 300. Yeah, thanks, Panther. What's up, Brody? I've been blasting and cruising now for about 4 years or so, but I've came off a couple of times for a few months. In your opinion, do you think I've ruined? No, bro. Do you think I've ruined my chances of having kids? Dude, C-Bomb just got his girl pregnant. I hope it's C-Bomb's kid. We need a little C-Bomb in the world. No, man. Like the odds that you're gonna like sterilize yourself on this shit is, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. There's always freak occurrences. I would say they're slim to none, even if you run gear for a super long time. Because worst case scenario, I mean, even if you completely shut yourself down to the point that you could not recover on your own, all you have to do is inject HCG, and it's going to kickstart some it's not natural because you're using HCG, but you're not going to be firing total blanks. Get HCG back in the mix. You're definitely gonna be able to have kids, bro. If you can't have kids, it's not the gear. I'd be willing to bet you. Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah, the trial was crazy. I'm trying to keep the prison videos coming. I kind of got bored with it because there's not so much exciting shit to talk about once we get to where I'm at now, which is in camp. I mean, there are some really fucked up things that happened in camp. I gotta get to making those videos. Again, to you, my man. Thank you. Yes, sir. There's just search Tren on my channel. I mean, that's why I changed my name to Trinamy. It's pretty much all I fucking talk about is Tren. There's a lot of data about the 50 milligram Tren cycle if you dig into it. Jen, what's up? Thanks again for those tips, man. I really appreciate you. I have a 4-month baby, was on blast with, yeah, dude. Definitely don't think that fucking gear is going to be birth control. I've seen very few examples of when that's true. And again, even if you were just like massively abusing, you're probably gonna be fine. I definitely don't. I'm nervous as shit. My girl has an IUD, and without being too graphic, sometimes I get on one on Tren and get a little aggressive, and I'm like super nervous that I'm gonna knock that thing loose, and then we're gonna get some bad news one day. And dude, like I am not trying to start over. And y'all have to understand, like I've talked about this a lot. My wife comes from a super religious background, and we had like some tense moments when we had my daughter, because she is the kind of person, like, I don't know if she's changed at all now. Like it might be a conversation now, but when my daughter was born, my wife is the type of person who does not believe in abortion at all. So like, I was like, but what if we do a sonogram and this kid has 10 arms and 3 heads, and she's like, I'm having the baby. There was no condition where she was not going to have the baby. And that makes me scared to death, because like she's on gear, and I've told her, like, you can't take gear and then have a baby. This kid is going to be fucked up. And so I'm always nervous that I'm actually going to knock that IUD loose and get her pregnant, and she'll have another geriatric pregnancy. And it's way too late now, man. I hope she can't get pregnant with all the hormone shit going on, but nature finds a way, dude. Never trust. Her doctors told her she couldn't get pregnant to begin with, and I kept telling her they were full of shit. She's like, no, I've had 3 doctors tell me. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you, we both have all the plumbing, and watch what happens. And sure enough, she got pregnant. Let's see what else we got going on here. I always say I'm going to get in here for a minute and stay. So are you going to make a video about your Primo or what?
Yes, I am. I promise. And there's stuff to talk about, so I will. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. I'll do a 2-week update.
She says she's going to do a 2-week update. Another question. I've talked about this in my videos before. Does anybody else get this shit? These Tren eyes? You can't see it as much on that side. But you see that? Those dark. This only happens on Tren. Like 2 or 3 weeks into a Tren cycle, I get these red marks all around my eyes, and it'll progressively get worse. And it almost just looks like I have been punched in the face on both sides of my face, like permanent rings. Oh yeah, I bet you are. Day 3, huh? See, every time somebody tells me that they jumped on Anavar, I get so fucking jealous. I have been cheating, honestly, recently. I don't know if I made a video about this. I got COVID. I didn't know I had COVID, and I couldn't get to the gym. I was feeling so tired, and I thought it was like, I thought it was MK lethargy or something. And I've been taking like 10 to 12 milligrams as a pre-workout of Anavar and some caffeine. God damn, I love it. I fucking love it. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Anavar's got to be like the closest thing. I can't think of anything else that's like close to street drugs, to where I actually like get jealous and almost like borderline crave it. It's not so much I crave the drug. I mean, I just crave the feeling. Like it's the best. When I ran Tren, my eyelids would twitch. It was the weirdest feeling trying to talk to people when your eyelids are twitching. Yeah. The other thing Tren usually causes for me in the beginning is the most savage muscle cramps. And a lot of times they'll happen in the shower. Like I'll like be trying, it's already hard to wash my back anyway. Like, you know, once you start developing lats and like when you lift constantly, you're all stiff everywhere. So I'll be like trying to reach around to get, you know, so I've got like a scrubber or something, and I'll be trying to reach to clean my back, and it just will not the fuck up. I found that usually when that happens is because I'm having an electrolyte imbalance. And so I start drinking like this electrolyte mix, and it usually gets rid of it. But that's one of the only bad things about Anavar is usually for me on Anavar. Damn, with my burps, dude. Usually for me on Anavar, at about like 4 weeks, I'll start getting those dreaded lower back pumps that will end a fucking workout. You know, you don't even have to be doing anything. Like you just bend over and pick up a set of dumbbells. You're like, your whole lower back is just one total knot. That's the worst. I went back, couldn't find a video on it. But what is your profession and how the video is? Hang on, I'll tell you the video. I have my, I can't fucking do it. Hang on. It's definitely there, dude. I got 70 videos with Tren. It's a ways back. It's a long way back. So you're going to be looking for, it's past the first page. The video title is going to be, it's going to be on the second page. It's titled, I ran Trenbolone for 1 year straight and this happened. So there's videos before that talking about the 50 milligram Tren cycle. But the video you're looking for the end result is I ran Trenbolone for 1 year straight and this happened. I did a blood work video while I was on that cycle. There's a bunch of videos leading up to that, but you got to go wait. That was back in that was September 16th of 2022 when I released that video. To answer your other question, what is your profession and how is it going? How is it going through side effects and going to work? Any funny stories? Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, buckle up. So the profession that I am in or have been in my whole life is sales. I wonder if I should say, let me think about this. You know what? I will. I worked for a company called Sunbelt Industrial Trucks. Actually, they changed their name to Sunbelt Material Handling. They were a Unicarrier's forklift dealer here in Dallas. And I started out at that company when I was like 23 years old. My dad worked there. He was a parts manager. He gave me a job delivering forklift parts, and I climbed the ranks all the way to being a territory manager. I got into sales is what I was doing. And at the end of my career, I was making well into the six figures selling forklifts, boom lifts, scissor lifts, rack, basically material handling stuff. That's what I was doing when I retired 2 years ago now, right at 2 years ago now. So I kind of semi-retired. I can get into that in a minute too. So yeah, when I started at a company, I was 23 years old, and I was there for 20 years. And so for the last 3-ish years, 2 or so years, I was basically in the middle of one perpetual steroid bulk. So I started doing steroids in like 2020, I guess, something like that. And so when I started doing gear, I started out with TRT. When I started doing gear, I weighed like 140 pounds. And I started lifting, and I got up to like 157-ish naturally. And then I jumped on TRT, and that put me up to like 172 or something. I don't remember exactly the numbers, 160 something, 170. And then very shortly after, I started experimenting with all these drugs. Everything was fine with my career in the beginning. In fact, at the end of we used to have an end of the year meeting, and my boss was going over the fact that I had at one of the years, I was the number one salesman in the entire company. It was actually my second full year, or my first full year in a new sales territory. And my partner quit. And so I took 2 roles. I was working 2 jobs at once, and I was the number one salesman in the entire company that year. And my boss literally was asking me, like, what's your secret? And I told him that I was on TRT, and he kind of jokingly said, like, where can I get it? Like, I will put this shit in the fucking vending machine in the break room if it will turn all the other sales guys into what it did to me, because it totally revolutionized my career. When I got confident and aggressive, and when I started putting on muscle mass, it's crazy. Like, most guys lift to be attractive to girls, but you will get way more attention from other men. And I don't mean sexually, I just mean like men respect other men with nice bodies, with big bodies. And so, like, when I was like a skinny little fucking dude and I would walk into some business somewhere, like, nobody pays any attention to you. They don't really want to help you. I'm like asking, can I talk to, the person that's just in charge of making the material handling decisions? And they kind of like fuck you off, and you're just kind of an annoyance. When you walk through the fucking doors, or you're walking through somebody's warehouse and your fucking shirt is tight all over and you got big fucking muscles, for some reason, other men want to know you. They want to talk to you. And so before, where I was like this annoyance walking through somebody's warehouse and they didn't have the time of day for me, now I'm walking through the fucking warehouse and dudes are coming up, and instead of being like, who the fuck are you? Why are you in here? They're like, damn, bro, you're jacked. Like, how do you get big like that? And so I would start talking to them about bodybuilding. And then now we have this like little connection. They'd be like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I'm looking for the guy who buys the forklifts. And they're like, oh yeah, let me take you back to his office. I'll introduce you to him and shit. And so all of a sudden, if you get big, you have this ultimate backstage pass everywhere you go. It's almost like a mini type of celebrity. And it's more powerful in the business world than in a lot of other places. Like, you walk in the door someplace, whether it's a man, a woman, whoever's there, for some reason, human beings just respect people in shape. And you have like this instant credibility, and it will take you a long way. The problem is that it also makes you very aggressive and territorial, especially Tren. And I damn near got fired on more than one occasion. In fact, I tried to go back to work for this company, and they're like, we don't have any job offers. We don't have any openings. And they're full of shit. I know they have an opening that I could take, but I think that they don't want to rehire me because I rocked the boat a lot. I was very aggressive in the office. Like, and I got into a really nasty fucking deal with this other sales guy who was basically trying to poach in my fucking territory. And he kind of tried to strong arm me. And dude, I was like a fucking pit bull in the dog park up there. Like, I didn't take shit off of nobody. And I completely, on the phone one day, melted the fuck down. and just I'm trying to remember what the fuck I said to that guy. I said something like, "This is my fucking territory, and I'm not gonna allow you to be walking around pissing on my trees," or some shit like that. It was like some shit out of one of my Tren rant videos. Like I was just super primal all the time. And I'm walking around the office and I have all of this fucking pent up energy. And we have all of these processes and paperwork. And I was always trying to cut corners and strong arm people into like making my trucks ready before somebody else. And I was always making little deals on the side and like doing all this fucking shit. And so the only reason they kept me around, I think, is because I'd been there for so long. And because I performed, I definitely produced. I was a straight commission employee. So I didn't cost the company anything. I either earned or I didn't get paid. But my wife will tell you, and anybody who's been around somebody who's on Tren, they have so much energy. It's just like a cloud. It's like this bubble of intensity that falls them around. And it really can rub people who spend a lot of time with you the wrong way. It makes them nervous. It's like your energy is so great that it kind of puts them in this sympathetic drive state. And I was chasing girls up there. And so I had like a borderline thing that caused a lot of problems with my marriage with my wife. And so, yeah, like on the one hand, if you can control yourself, it can make you a savage in the business world. But it is just like anything else. I mean, you have to control it or cause a lot of fucking problems. Ever had a I don't even want to read that. No, I've had no torn muscles. I'm so superstitious about this shit. I've had 3 or 4 friends tear muscles. I don't even want to think about it. I'm scared to death of it happening. It's one of the reasons I never do 1 rep maxes. I've done 1 rep max like, I don't know, 10 times in my life. I never fucking, and I know that's not the only way to have it happen. A buddy of mine tore his pec on like his 8th rep of a bullshit set. So I know that I don't like watching those fucking videos. I just want to pretend, I just want to stick my head in the sand when it comes to torn muscles and just pretend like that shit doesn't happen, because I kind of feel like, I'm 43 now. I've never had a sports injury. It's like you go to the well too many times, you're gonna fall in. And I just keep thinking any day is my day. And so I really kind of pussyfoot with it. Like if a muscle starts feeling a little weird, like during lift, a couple of times I thought I was on the verge of tearing my bicep. I'll fucking abandon the program, dude. I fucking just quit lifting. It's not worth it to me. One workout is not worth all that shit. And so I'm super fucking, don't talk to me about tear muscles. I was talking to Sarah the other day about I get tons of tension in my traps to the point I almost stopped multiple times. Yeah, it's Jen, that sucks. I mean, because you'll be having a savage workout, and the number of times I've tried to work through the Anavar pump, and sometimes it's just crippling. Like you just cannot. I would just be feeling it so much, and I want to keep pushing, and I just fucking can't do it. Sometimes you just gotta. And I think that potassium is the key. I use this stuff. I forget what it's called. I'll have Sarah tell me in a minute. It's an electrolyte mix that you can get from Amazon. You can get it I buy it from REI actually because it's cheaper. And if you keep your potassium primarily up, it seems to be the number one thing that will help with the Tren cramps and the Anavar cramps. What? No, what's the mix in there called? Yeah, you bring it here. No. The REI stuff.
Oh.
Come on, girl.
The electrolyte stuff?
Yes.
The Vitalite?
Yeah, it's Vitalite. It's called Vitalite. So that shit is really good. Let's see. I gotta get caught up in this fucking comments. We call it. Yeah, man. Jen, for real. It'll definitely make you homicidal. If you have a random kid, definitely call her Trinifer. Trinifer, that's great. We might have to now. Oh man, she should have told me that. Now I'm like Trinifer. Maybe we could have one. If I knew it was gonna be a little girl, I might fucking go one more time just to name her Trinifer. Hey, if we have a little girl, can we name her Trinifer? Over her dead body. Come on, that's a great name. Yeah, creamy crypto, dude. It's crazy the respect you get. Trinifer, that's what I bought. Yeah, Jen. That yeah, you have to be careful with that. I was taking straight potassium citrate when I caused that explosive poop, and it's fucking no joke. It worked. I actually was taking the potassium citrate because I thought it would help with night sweats. Somebody had recommended it, like one, I think it was my second, and now this is so weird. I've done a bunch of Tren. Like I have no telling how much Tren. I've only had 2 cycles where I had any amount of night sweats. And I think it was the second cycle where I had like the night sweats that you hear about on on all the forums and shit, where like I was in a literal puddle. My wife was having to change the sheets every day. It was fucking terrible. And I read somewhere that the potassium would help with that. And I think it kind of did, but I guess I overdosed it. And man, you don't want to do that. That'll have you going to the toilet like you took one of those things before your colonoscopy. Luckily, I don't like. I'm on 300 milligrams of Tren now. I haven't had any Tren sweats. I don't know if it's just because I've gotten smarter about keeping the fan on, kicking the covers off, but I feel like it would just happen rapidly because I don't know. I just don't think it happens anymore. I don't know why that is. Thanks, Turtle. Glad for everybody who sticks around, puts up with my insanity. I was saying earlier in my video, like, my channel's so handicapped because I just piss everybody off. People come to me, they come to watch my videos and hear about Tren and cycles and shit. And I'm so opinionated on a million different topics. And I just say something that pisses everybody off, like I'm conservative minded on my politics, but I have like a lot of liberal thoughts. So like I'm not a Christian, and sometimes I talk shit about Christianity, so that pisses off conservatives. But then I talk shit about liberal agendas, that pisses off the liberals. And so it's like I can't win. Some people be like, I can't believe this guy doesn't have more followers, more subscribers than he does. And it's like, I'm never going to be able to grow a channel very large because I'm way too inflammatory. I'm always saying something that's going to rub. And, we just live in this world where people get their fucking panties in wad so fucking easily. And it's just such a gang mentality with everybody. It's like, I just wish we could fucking stop. If we could stop worrying about all the little pissant bullshit and just focus on how to like improve our society as a whole and improve everyone's quality of life, stop telling each other what the fuck to do and forcing opinions on everybody. To me, that's where all the problems come from. It's like, I don't really care what LGBTQ people fucking do. Y'all can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Just don't tell me I have to fucking call you some name. And I don't care if Christians believe that Jesus walked on water and fed 5,000 people with a fish and all that. Like, that's cool, man. And if you think I'm going to burn in hell for it, that's cool too, but just leave me alone. Like, I just don't know why we can't just leave each other alone. Do you feel like your face has aged? That's a great question, Emperor. I don't know what to think about my face aging. I know that these crevices here are way worse than they used to be. They're getting to the point that they actually bother me. I don't know if it's because like part of me thinks that what actually happens with steroids is that like obviously when I do this, muscles are contracting in my forehead. And so I'm on a shit ton of gear and I'm growing muscles everywhere. And I think that what happens is the muscles in your forehead and your cheeks and shit, your jaw, they just get bigger. And so, there's a lot more going on there than there used to be. I don't know, and it's impossible to really know. Like, obviously, you're going to age, and you can't know relative to, you can't know relative. Like, if I had never done steroids, would I look better or worse? How can you know? Because there's benefits on both sides. There's like GH produces collagen. you know, the extra, like, I definitely think, like, maybe I'll make a video one day where I'll pull up some old pictures of my face before I started doing gear. I definitely think I'm much better looking. I'm way too bloated now, but even Sarah will tell you, like, I really grew into my face as I got older. I used to be real like skeleton faced, and it was not a good look. And um, so maybe it aged me more. It's I think it does, because the crazy thing is, like, I remember when I found out that Bumstead, he was like, I guess he's 26 or 27 now, but I remember looking at him and finding out he was 25. And I was like, holy shit, I thought that guy was like 35. Like, a lot of the young, early 20s bodybuilders look way older than their early 20s. But I think that there's a point of diminishing return. So I think that it's weird. It's like, it's hard to tell anybody's age anymore. Young girls can look like they're fucking 25 when they're 18, but then they stay looking 25 until they're 50. You know, so I don't know if it's the combination of all the shit that we put in our bodies, or the cosmetics, and I don't know what it is, but aging doesn't seem to be the same linear process that it used to be. The ass, what? My face looks better now. Thank you, dear. The ass and face rule. Once you get to a certain age, they say you pick either body, looking good, or face. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's funny, the shit. Like, when my wife got her breast implants, which was like, I can't even remember how many years ago now. It's kind of a funny story. I don't know if I've ever told that story before. I had done a Tren cycle. She hated it. She fucking hated it. And I knew I was going to do another one. And so I was trying to come up with a way to sell this fucking cycle. And I was literally driving to the gym one day, and I was like, what if I suggest, like, hey, you know, you've always talked about getting breast implants. I've been spending a lot of money on myself. You know, what if we do something nice for you? So it's like one of the ways I conjure into Tren is that I was like, you have breast implants and I'll do Tren. But why am I talking about that? I got what I don't know what made me think about that. Yeah, I just like, oh, I remember why I brought that up. And so, but I was nervous of letting her get cosmetic surgery. Letting her, I mean, I don't control. She can do what the fuck she wants to do. But like, I was nervous to endorse the cosmetic surgery because so many women these days lose their fucking mind. And I'm not. I mean, if I'm not trying to offend anybody, I'm just saying this is my personal view. You do whatever you want. But I personally am not a fan of the big ass puffy lip thing. I did not want Sarah fucking with her mouth. I love her little Cupid bow mouth. And I didn't want her fucking doing mountains of Botox and all that shit. And so I was a little bit nervous, like, signing off on the breast implants. And like, I had a deal, like, it's breast implants. That's what we're doing. We're not going crazy with all this other bullshit. She was like, that's it. That's all I want. And so we both had a deal that we were not doing Botox. And honestly, I'm kind of like, I don't know. The more this like Grand Canyon grows in my forehead right there, the more I start going, maybe a little bit. You know, I don't know. I don't know whether I'll do it or not. Yeah, losing fat in the face is the worst. You're absolutely right. That's the thing. Like, and one of the things that creates the most dysmorphia with me, and even with Sarah, like right now, I hate the way I look. Like, the way my body looks right now, like just how soft my arms are, the softness of my chest, like my belly, like I feel enormous. I hate the way I look right now. And so, because all I look at is people in peak conditioning. I don't even look at a bodybuilder's shit when they're not like in prep. The second they start getting fat, I stop even looking at them. And so I'm creating this massively dysmorphic world because I think normal is like 10, like, to me, anything over 10% body fat and you're just a total fucking lard ass. Like, the second I cannot see 6 perfectly visible abs, I freak the fuck out. And it's the reason that I don't grow. And so right now I'm having to force myself to just cope with the way I look because I want to stay peeled. But that is true what Jen is saying, like, especially on girls, man. Like the girls, when they diet down for shows, they just look like fucking wraiths. It's freakish, just the skeletal look of their face. Luckily, I mean, it just takes a few days. They pop right back when they just rehydrate. But yeah, it's not good. What's the record for time stem fapping on speed? What? What time spent? What do you mean, Kyle? I have an answer. I think I have an answer for your question if you can clarify it. What's the record for time? Clarify your question, I'll answer it. That's probably more information than I should give. Stem fat. Yeah, I'm about to get, I can tell right now I'm getting ready to get sucked into an ugly topic. What's up, Dale? I think I know what Kyle's asking, so I'm just gonna fucking go with it. I was actually gonna make a video talking about some of this. So as you guys know, yes, dude. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, as you guys know, I used to be a speed addict, and I went through a bender in this marriage, and Sarah and I both used. And we would, because we have kids, like we couldn't do it like I really wanted to together with her. Like, so, you know, my mom would take the kids, and admittedly, we would do a little party on the weekend. When I use amphetamines, that is all I do. It's like, it's insane. And that's actually when we discovered tune. Can I say porn? I guess I could say tune porn was when we were on stems. I guess I'll be careful with the words I use. And man, it would be nothing. When that last bender we went through, fuck 10 hours, dude. Like we were at it for days straight, to the point where we were causing like literal physical injury to our bodies from like chafing. Like it was out of control. We would be in there not eating, not drinking, using. We had the hub up on the TV, and it would just be, the sun would just be coming up, going down, coming up, going down. It would just be constant with the toys and I was just deranged, man. Honestly, I miss it. Like she hates stimulants. I would definitely get sucked into like a weekend, or I'd be like, let's send the kids away and let's just go crazy for the weekend. I loved it, dude. Like the thing is, if I had to be like fapping, I guess that's the safe word, because otherwise I'd be picking. And dude, when I used to use, bro, the picking that I have done to my shoulders and face and back and chest. I remember one time when I was in the middle of my early addiction, and I was at my brother's apartment, and I'd been in there fucking tweaking for a while, and he came back, and he walked through the front door, and he goes, "Oh my God." And it's like I snapped out of it, and I had picked, like, I mean, just try to imagine every pore. It was just my whole chest just looked like I got shot with like BB pellets. Just, it was just like little bloody spots all over my chest, my whole shoulders. I was just torn apart, dude, because I was in there with a magnifying mirror picking every individual pore. And there's no telling how long it had gone on. And he was just like horrified. It was terrible, man. So usually to prevent that, it would just be straight fap nonstop into oblivion. What am I talking about? On a live stream of all things. Yeah, dude, 10 hours, that's amateur shit, bro. Yeah, Street Maxer, I'm definitely not doing that. I'm still working on the line. Jen's got such a fucking cool personality. It's the only reason I can tolerate this fucking guy. My record is 12 hours. It's horrible feeling when it's over. Yeah, Creamy, that's the thing, is that That was my attitude toward amphetamines. Was I couldn't cope with it being over. So I would basically not use unless I could stay up for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks was like my go-to period of time to be awake. So because like a weekend is not long enough. So like my wife would do it with me for the weekend, but I would be up for 2 weeks straight. And so my objective was always to stay up to the point where when I quit, I would crash out and fall asleep before I would feel any of the real come down. And so then I would usually sleep for like 3 days. And so that was the way that I did speed for the vast majority of the time. Shadow people for real, Kyle. Dude, I could make so many videos about my fucking experience with uh stems. I have had I have had conversations with a group of 3 people that I don't know for sure whether these people exist or not. But I can tell you that when I was talking to them, they were as real as anything in life is real. Shadow people, man. Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Yeah, 2 weeks was about standard for me. I stayed up for 31 days one time, straight. With I think maybe like I carped out a couple of times, like on the floor for like 30 minutes. And I had a total at the end of 30 days, I completely lost my entire shit. And I was living with my dealer at the time, and I was convinced that he was like going to rat me off, or he was like it was like some crazy sting. You know how you get these crazy ideas, these sting operations, and I thought there was like bugs and shit on the car and transponders, and he'd give me his car um to go drop something off, and I fucking lost my shit and I freaked out, and I abandoned the car on the side of the road, and I walked like I drove like close to where my grandparents were living at the time, and I abandoned the car, and I cut off all cell phone communication with them, and I walked to my grandparents' house, and I got there like 4 o'clock in the morning or something, and I didn't want to wake them, so I curled up on their patio, and I passed out. I carped out, and my grandfather woke up and got me off the patio one morning, and they put me in the bed, and they didn't call my dad, and I slept for 3 days straight, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. They thought I was dying. And when I finally came to, I came walking out, and my grandmother told me, she said that she thought I was going to die. Like they're born in the 20s. They have no idea what was going on. And my grandfather was World War II veteran. He flew bombing runs over Japan. He was a real hard man, and real emotionless kind of guy. And I was sitting in their living room just talking to him, and my grandfather just started crying. I'd never seen him be emotional about anything. And he started crying, and I looked at him, and he was like, you look like a dead man walking. Like you look like he was like, I don't know how you're alive. Like I was just skin and fucking, but I probably weighed 110 pounds. And that was the longest I was ever up. And that period of time, I could make videos about. Holy shit, dude. I can remember one time I had journals and journals. I used to just like, I was the kind of tweaker where I would like hole up by myself, and I would write all these crazy stories and theories and shit. And I had this theory that there was this entire that basically the entire world was the Matrix, and that there were all these people who were following me. And I was convinced that they were all communicating with each other on little wired headsets that everybody used to have back in the day, and that they would coordinate their efforts. Like, so I would try to like lose them in my car, and they had this insane coordinated effort where I would get, no matter where I turned, I would get passed off to another car that was either trailing me or leading me. And I convinced myself that the way to identify the way to identify the cars is that they all had a double digit in the license plate. So the license plate might be like TT6531 or T55378, whatever. There would be either a double letter or a double number right next to each other. Dude, I had fucking journals where I was writing down all these license plates and trying to cross-reference the license plate numbers to see if the same license plates were coming up in different locations. I'd be driving around in my car having these massive panic attacks because it was like every time I looked into the windows of every car, 100% of the drivers were just staring at me the whole time. They wouldn't even be looking at the road. They would just be looking at me. Dude, people talk about like Tren's bad for you. Fuck you, dude. Tren is nothing compared to being on the big METH for 30 consecutive days. Like, insane, bro. What am I talking about on here? Thought you're being poisoned, dude. The shit that's like, the thing is, it's not the drugs. It's the same thing with the Tren. I used to tell my wife this, like, she'd be like, the Tren's fucking you up. And I'm like, no, it's not the Tren. It's the no sleeping that's fucking you up. You know, if you could find a way to do meth and sleep, you'd be fine. But you can't stay awake for 30 days, or like my go-to, like I said, was 14 days with no sleep. Like, that is what catastrophically breaks. It totally disconnects you from reality. I remember that one of the first times I did a stem bender when I was homeless. I was staying with my brother, and he had a real job, so he would get up and he'd go to work, and it's a surreal experience when you watch a person get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, get up, go home, go. You know, you watch a person wake up and go to sleep 7 times, but that's one day for you. Because when you stay up for seven consecutive days, yeah, you see the sun go up and down, but to your brain, because you didn't go to sleep, it's like one day for you. And that totally fractures your perspective of reality. Nothing is real anymore. And it's it's crazy. Holy fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely start seeing shadows early on. The thing that I notice, creating crypto is even at the 24-hour mark. Have you ever noticed, like, you go in the bathroom at the end of the 24-hour mark, or you've been up for 24 hours straight, and you look at the toilet bowl, but you go to the bathroom and it looks like there's little black dots all over the toilet bowl, all like moving around all over the toilet bowl in the water. That always happens to me at like the 24-hour mark. Okay, anyway, let me get off this. Yes, I have taken shrooms. I can make a whole bunch of videos about that. Man, I can't. Hang on, let me catch up. Damn, I don't want to get talking about shrooms now. Also, yeah, Kyle, you gotta sleep it off. I have taken shrooms. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about that right now. Let me see what else people were talking about. How much you weigh, and what's your goal weight? I currently weigh 211 pounds. My goal was 210, so I already eclipsed it. I have not officially set a new goal. I don't think I'm going to specifically set a goal. I think that I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and eating like I'm eating, and until for like another 2 weeks minimum, and just see where it's at and reassess from there. So I keep thinking my gains are going to plateau at any moment. And I was up a pound again yesterday, so we'll see where it's at today. I was I think it's possible I could get to 212 today. It just keeps going up, so I don't really specifically have a new goal yet. How'd you meet your dealer you lived with? We worked together. Yeah, I don't really. I had fun with coke, dude, but I never went on benders. I just do it for one day. Do you think you could hit 220 pounds if you hit legs hard and up your current doses? I think I can hit 220 without really changing to. I definitely don't think I need Dbol. I definitely I can. I mean, the thing is I can hit 220 pounds if I just keep eating enough. That's the thing. Like it might not be good weight. Do I think I can get to 220 pounds lean? I would be fucking flabbergasted if that happened on this cycle. I am going to start upping my androgens if I put on too much more fluff try to compensate for that. I confessed to my wife last night or the night before that I'm considering pushing the Tren to 400. She was not fucking happy about that. I hope I don't have to. I don't know what's worse, guys. Like, I don't know what's the worst thing to do. Like, is it worse for me to push the Tren to 400 and know that that's going to reset my Tren come up and make me aggressive and have a lot of, have Tren side effects? Or is it worse to fuck with my test and Masteron and fucking risk, fucking my E2 up again? I guess in theory, I could add Anadrol. I could do that. I hadn't thought about that. I might have enough Anadrol to run like 4 weeks or something and offset. I'll think about that. I don't know. I definitely think I could get to 220 at this point. I don't know that I will. This channel is amazing. Keep it up. Thanks, Charlie. How much pounds would actually doing legs add, you think? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the kind of thing like if I do legs, then I would add more weight relative to not doing them, or if they, let's say I start doing legs and I start putting muscle on my legs, is that taking away from muscle that I could have built on my upper body? Or is there a finite level of muscle on my upper body and I'm missing out on leg gains? I don't really know how that works. Now that I think about it, another thing that I am thinking about doing, maybe somebody in the chat has had some experience with this and you guys can tell me what. I do have some YK11. I have never used before. I've heard that it's pretty fucking harsh, that it's no joke. But given the fact that it's a myostatin inhibitor, that might allow me to unlock some plateaus without going up on my androgens. And it should be fast acting enough that if I don't like it, I can take it out and not have too much problems. I don't know. YK11 might be in the near future for me. What's up with your left eye, bro? It's noticeably different. What are you talking about? You talking about like my sleepy eye like this? If that's what you're talking about, I don't know what the fuck that is, dude. I've just had it my whole life. Sometimes it's worse than others. Like sometimes on these videos, like depending on where I'm looking, like if I'm looking right here, I think it's less noticeable. When I start tilting my head down, or if I if I lose focus or something, like this eye will just start like, I don't know what causes it, dude. They call it, they say it's a lazy eye, but I don't know what that means or why I have it. It looks a little bit syndromey, doesn't it? Like sometimes it'll be real bad. It'll be like halfway closed. I don't know what that's about, dude. Yeah, I don't really love orals, dude. The thing is, I do love orals if I go to the gym every fucking day. I don't like having a head full of Anadrol when I'm just like sitting around the house trying to play board games with my daughter. That shit's a lot. Like I'm so fucking just like amped up, and I'm trying to play, board games with a 6-year-old, and it's bad energy, dude. Like if I was in the gym, like back in the day when I used to lift 5 days a week, fucking loved orals. But now I lift 3-4 days a week. It's like, it's too much energy. Yeah, I know legs can hold a lot of mass. I probably should do it. Yeah, I should do it. Ryan Russo has some really good vids on injectable YK11, LGD 4033, supposedly super strong. I started 50 milligrams of Tren, felt amazing for like 3 days, up to 100, felt no different. Now I'm at 175 and kind of feeling something. It's ACE, so it should be quick, kicking in quick. The fuck? I don't know, bro. I think I saw your comment the other day about this. I hate to tell people their shit's fake, but everybody's body's different. So, I mean, you're taking 50 milligrams of Tren Ace a week or a day? You say you up to 175 a week of Tren Ace, and how frequently are you injecting it? per week with ED injection. Okay, yeah. I don't know how strong 175 milligrams a week of Tren is. I will of ACE. I will tell you that when I ran 50 milligrams of Tren, low dose Tren is not a mind fuck. That's the whole reason of running at low dose, is that you're not going to have the extreme psychological effects. You're just going to have a better aesthetic, better nutrient partitioning, more strength than you would normally have, but it's not going to come on in some like rapid, it's not going to be like revolutionary. That was the whole reason that I was running it super low, is because I found out that it was actually doing enough in my body to be worth having it in the mix, but it was not psychologically active. Yeah. So if you're looking for like the crazy trend effect, then yeah, you should start feeling it up here in the 175 range. 200, I'm definitely feeling psychological effects. 300 full-blown psychological effects. But down below, down around 75 to 100 milligrams it's not groundbreaking. I mean, that's a really a low dose. It's a tolerable dose. It's a dose that you can still get a lot of good physical body effects from, but it's not going to like rock your world like 300 or something like that. Hey, I heard Street Maxer wanted to interview on his channel. You should do it, bro. Lol, that would be so entertaining. Well, here's the thing. How is he even going to do that? I was talking about that earlier in my video, that I wanted to interview my wife on this channel, and there's no way to do it from desktop. You can only get interviewed, like you can only do split screen if you go live together from a cell phone. So fucking stupid. What is wrong with YouTube? Like, why can't I split screen with my wife right from our desktop or our laptop? So I don't even know how he would interview me on his channel. And I certainly don't know why in the world I would actually want to do that. Let's see who's like who is this guy? I went to his channel one day and it was horrific. I mean, he was like in a basement, like doing some creepy fuck ass dancing. Who is this guy? Like, I don't understand. Bro, Street Maxer has to be, yeah. It's the most bizarre. There's so many crazy people online, dude. It's unbelievable. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. Yeah, I don't know, man. What time is it? What are you doing, baby? Okay. Yeah, man. I'm definitely not. I definitely don't see a Trinity #1 and Street Maxer interview coming up in the near future. I've had a bunch of people randomly hit me up on Instagram wanting to do podcasts all the time. I don't even know how to do that. And it's like, I don't mean to like sound like a dick, but I mean, like, what's the point? Like if it was somebody, like if he wants to interview me, if he's still in here, like ask me questions now, I'll answer them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just can't even like what do I stand to gain from this? Did you not get a slight euphoria from Dbol? Oh, sorry, I think I missed that question. Yeah, dude. I never confirmed, like I didn't do some kind of lab test to confirm that my T-ball was Dbol, but I did get massive gyno from it. And so I don't know what other oral would have given me gyno and like inside of like 4 days. That's not Dbol. And so when I made the videos about how I was feeling on T-ball, I had this army of people in the comments going, that sounds like Dbol. And then all of a sudden my fucking nipples exploded and my estrogen went so high on what I thought was T-ball. I literally got morning sickness. I made a video about this, about estrogen turned me into a pregnant woman, I think is what it's called. I had fucking literal morning sickness. I was vomiting at will every single morning when I woke up. I could not figure out what the fuck was wrong with me. I thought like I had some allergy to the T-ball. And finally I realized like, oh my God, this is estrogen. And so I started cramming Remedex in, and the vomiting stopped, and all the side effects subsided. And it was a disaster. Like, it was a total disaster getting that fixed. But aside from that, yes, Dbol is one of the best feeling compounds I've ever run. The first time I ran it, I thought, oh my God, like this is, I was sending my wife, I was in the gym just fucking throwing weight around on like row machine. I couldn't believe the strength. And I just had so much intensity and aggression. I was sending her the you know the cartoon, the cartoon version of the Incredible Hulk that came out like 10 years or something ago. Like, it was like it had real actors, but the Hulk was like a cartoon in the video in the movie. And there's this part where he goes, ah, he like hits like a fucking most muscular, and like that's just how it felt like. I just felt like I wanted to rip the walls off of the fucking off the studs in the gym. Like, I just felt so positive and pumped and aggressive. It was super positive feeling in the gym. And I remember going to work, popping one on the way, because I took it like 3 times a day, I think. And so I popped 10 milligrams on my way to the office for a fucking a Monday morning meeting. It was just all that intensity and feel so great. But the reason I quit taking it is I started getting a lot of fucking side effects that I think were liver toxicity. Like, my hands, the skin on my hands started itching, my feet started itching. I just started feeling generally bad. Um, Maybe it was something else. I don't know. My liver is not worth a fuck. It reacts poorly to a lot of things. And so I just didn't trust it. Maybe I'll do it again. Maybe. And the thing is that it feels really good, but like Anavar feels great too. Like, if D-ball feels amazing, but I would rather just take Anavar and not have to worry about the estrogen. Like, that's the whole thing. The D-ball is going to turn into methyl estradiol, which is like estrogen straight from the pits of fucking hell. Like, the worst estrogen known to man. So yeah, it makes you feel fucking great, but it's just going to cause terrible side effects in me. What dose of Tren does that godlike feeling hit in? Very curious about that and the madness people talk about. So when I was at 100 milligrams of Tren, and I did not have a lot of that godlike, like it's better. Like, you definitely feel, enhanced. But when I jumped from 100 and so I started pinning 300 a week. So I was pinning 50 milligrams twice a week. And then I jumped up to pinning 50 milligrams twice a week. I jumped up to pinning 150 milligrams twice a week. I guess it was like a week or two after I upped the dose that I started really feeling it. I feel it the most in the gym. That's the thing about Tren, is like, once you learn to handle Tren, like, I don't typically walk around my house. Well, I mean, I definitely have a God complex all the time, but it is the most pronounced in the middle of a workout, or if somebody pisses you off on the road. Any trigger, any like androgenic trigger is where the Tren is really going to come alive. And so, like, even on 300 milligrams, I'm on 300 milligrams of Tren right now. I've been playing Monopoly with my daughter. I was playing Go Fish with her earlier, making YouTube videos, sitting around the house. Like, I'm just like a regular fucking guy. I'm emotionally distant from everybody for sure, constantly, but I'm not feeling a bunch of like intense aggression or God complex or any of that shit. If I go to the fucking gym right now, start doing chest and listening to some fucking like aesthetic perfection or some pumped up fucking music, I'm gonna be instantly mean mugging everybody in the gym, like wanting to tear shit up. Like, it definitely comes on when you have like a reason. Otherwise, it just kind of like chills right under the surface for the most part. Sometimes I do walk around like a little bit pissed the fuck off. Like, you're a little bit on edge all the time, but like the super euphoric God complex kind of shit, that's really like in the gym or where you have some kind of trigger. Wow, I didn't know that high estrogen could do that, dude. I didn't either. All I know, and again, all I know is that I was vomiting like crazy in the mornings, and it did not go away until I started taking Arimidex and got off the fucking Dbol. So who knows? No, the Dbol, the T-ball that I bought that I think ended up being Dbol, I bought from Pharmacom Labs. And I hate to fucking say that because I had so many good experiences with Pharmacom Labs gear, but I did have two bad experiences. I got, and this is verified, I have the lot number to prove it. They put out a batch of Arimidex, and it was not Arimidex, it was Letrozole. And I got one of those batches and crashed my fucking estrogen with it. So that was my first bad experience with Pharmacom. And my second was when I ordered what I thought was T-ball. And again, I can't prove this because I didn't get any lab work done, but the overall general consensus is that I took fucking D-ball and that it wasn't T-ball. So really frustrating because their injectables were fucking amazing. First cycle, 25 milligrams Dbol felt like God and euphoric. Yeah, I did 30 milligrams and 3 10-milligram doses, and I was definitely fucking feeling it. If you could formulate your ultimate God mode stack, if got no sides, what would it be? Ultimate God mode stack. I don't know, man. It's going to be something fucking crazy. I'm going to tell you something stupid like 350 milligrams of Tren, 750 milligrams of testosterone. You know, take your pick. 50 milligrams of Anadrol, 30 milligrams of Dbol, 350 milligrams of Masteron. Like, I don't know. There's so many compounds that do different things. You know, like the Tren gives you crazy, insane aggression and libido and animal drive and just all the stuff we love. The Masteron gives me just a happy, super happy, positive. Dick works better than on any other thing known to man, with the exception of maybe Proviron. You know, having a high dose of test feels fucking awesome. You know, Dbol and Anadrol feel fucking awesome. Honestly, I'd probably take Anadrol over the Dbol. So maybe I would say Anadrol 50, Test 500, Tren 350, Masteron 350. Maybe. I don't know. If there was no side, and though what I just gave you, you can pretty much do without sides, without other horrible sides, really. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. The Tren's not going to be just. Usually, the Tren, I would say, the Tren becomes to the point where you can't ignore it. You know, by week 4, definitively. So weeks 1 and 2, I'm feeling a little something. I'm noticing a little bit more irritability, and I'm noticing some aggression in the bedroom. That's Tren weeks 1 and 2. Weeks 3 and 4 is when the weeks 3 real serious irritability that's borderline uncontrollable. Week 4 is when all of a sudden my strength goes to the fucking roof, and I'm like, here we fucking go. But that's on Tren E. So I would imagine that you would cut that entire thing in half, maybe with Tren Ace. I don't know. I feel like all the pros do those doses easy. Yeah, I think one of the things that just separates, you know, a pro from somebody like me. For one, dude, I'm 43 years old. I'm an old man, dude. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm a fucking old man. When I was in my fucking 20s, dude, there's no telling how much of this shit I could have tolerated. But I'm also highly fucking neurotic. You guys have probably noticed that. So, you know, if you notice a guy like, you know, like let's say like most bodybuilders, like take like Nick Walker, okay? Nick Walker does not strike me as the kind of person who's up all night trying to contemplate how to solve the homelessness crisis in America. You know what I mean? Like, dude's really fucking chill and laid back and just like fucking, He's lifting and eating and probably fucking and you know, he's just not. He doesn't have like the weight of the world on him. He doesn't seem like. Regan Grimes is another guy who doesn't strike me as a person who's highly neurotic. And so for me, I probably make a much bigger deal out of a lot of this shit than a lot of people because I'm really sensitive to my body in a lot of really finicky ways. I notice things like I'm just really hyper aware of every little thing in my body, which makes me a hypochondriac. And that's one of the things that's so great about my wife is she's constantly there to like chill me the fuck out because I get a chest pain. It's like, oh fuck, is that a heart attack? Am I I get sucked in. She's like, it's heartburn. Chill out. You know what I mean? And so, like, I can just trump up, you know, all of these things because it's like I know too much. I was sitting on the toilet the other night, reading my phone. I thought I was having an aneurysm. I thought for sure. I started having this weird pain in my head, and then I was like, I think my left eye's going a little blurry. And then it's like, wait a minute. If you're having a stroke or an aneurysm, it's usually the opposite side of the body that gets affected. So probably not having a stroke or an aneurysm on the left side and having left side. It's just that's what I'm saying, dude. Like I'm a total basket case. So if I could turn off my hypervigilance, I could probably slam 3 grams of gear a week and never even and be totally fine. But I'm just a fucking nutcase. You see how Milos leaked Cutler did 200 milligrams of anadrol a day. Yeah, those dude. That fucking video, man. I made a video response to it when Cutler came out and said that he won the Olympia on I think it was 500 milligrams of test and 500 milligrams of EQ. It was just heartbreaking, dude. I was a huge Jay Cutler fan. I can't even. I mean, it's embarrassing to admit. Like I had fucking posters of this guy on my wall, dude. Like I was a huge fucking Cutler fan. I wanted him to fucking beat Ronnie so bad. And so I idolized that guy in so many ways. I haven't had many idols in life, and he was one of them. And it's just nauseating to listen to that fucking bullshit. 500, 500. Come on, dude. You know, and then they always like leak like little pieces here and there. Like, so Milos leaks the 200 milligrams of anadrol. And then at one point, Jay admitted that he was taking like 12 IUs of growth at one point. And then he would say, and there'd be times where you'd use some Dbol. And it's like, what the fuck did you take, dude? Like, what are you afraid of? You already won the Olympias. You've got your businesses. You've made your money. There's plenty of assholes like me out here telling people exactly what gear I take. So it's not like top secret fucking information anymore. Just tell us what you took, dude. Like, who gives a shit if everybody goes out and copies you? It's not your problem. You're not responsible for anybody else's behavior. I just don't know why they bullshit. Maybe it's because they know they're going to end up like me and can't get a job. Like, I'm learning the hard way. Like, this is why you don't talk about this shit. Nobody wants to hire you. Yeah, that was another thing. Arnold used to say that he did like, what was it? One cc of Primo a week. It was like Dbol and 1 cc of Primo a week, I think is what he tried to say in one of his videos. Yeah. The thing is, dude, Arnold really not that big of a guy. What was he, 224? Two something on stage? Like I got him over here in the background. He really wasn't that fucking big of a dude. Like when there's somebody, I don't know if it was C-Bum that posted it. Maybe like C-Bum is definitively, without question, like the best classic physique body that ever walked the face of the earth. Hands down, he fucking smashes Arnold in every conceivable way. And even if you wanted to take legs out of the game, because the guys in Arnold's era did not build legs the way they do now, even if you wanted to take that factor out of the game, if you just judge them from the waist up, Arnold's body was really not his proportions were not great. Dude, my shoulders compared to Arnold's, I have massive boulder shoulders. Arnold's shoulders just like fell off the side of his bone. And then he had those gigantic fucking biceps and the big, huge pecs. C-Bum's entire physique is so much more aesthetically sculpted. He's got the boulder shoulders, the pecs, the biceps. He's got the most complete physique of any fucking man that ever walked the earth. Times everything Arnold said by 20. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. C-Bum never would have existed without Ian. I don't know anything about that. It's crazy how lat inserts impossible shape yeah, there's so many fucking genetic factors at play, and you take the genetics and the discipline and the gear and all the things and you put it together. Yeah, I know who Ian is. I didn't know that that led Bumstead to getting into the sport. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody ever hear what happened with that bust? Remember when they were here for the Olympia? What was it, year before last? And Melissa got busted on that bullshit fucking crazy sting operation. I never heard the results of that. She got probation. Dude, see, I've always been curious to see like what would like if you got popped with a bunch of gear because they got popped with a bunch. Probation. Anybody have any idea how long? Like, did it fuck her shit up to where she can't come back to the country? Like, does anybody like know any of the specific details on the probation? He lived in the house with Ian and his sister, and they got to control. But yeah, I read all about. Yeah, that bust was crazy. The way that they had like intercepted the box and then put the tracking device and the invisible powder, and then they fucking delivered it, and then they got around the corner and then waited for the box to be opened to confirm that it was opened, and then somebody to touch it, and then they go in to find out who had the powder on their hands, which is why she got popped and the rest of them didn't. The funny thing about that entire situation is it's an example of like how stupid police organizations can be. And maybe they didn't have any control of this information getting leaked, but they told all of us exactly how they busted who they thought was a major player. They obviously thought they were going to get C-Bum or Ian. They didn't realize that the girl was gonna do that. And so obviously it was a bullshit setup to pop one of the guys. But all of the fucking shit that they went through, now we all know, you know? So like if I was ever going to get a package, if I was going to get a package, I'm not opening that shit. Somebody else is going to open that fucking package to find out. Like there's so many layers of, OPSEC that they gave away when they told everybody exactly how they did that. Like it's mind blowing, and all for what? So Ian's wife can get probation? Like, come on, dude. The triple, yeah. Anyway, anybody, this is going on way too long. Is VAR really as good as Dbol? Not from a muscle building perspective at all. Like Dbol's, well, it depends on the way you look at it. See, again, I made a video about this. Like, yeah, you're going to put on way more weight with Dbol, but you're going to lose 90% of it or 70% of it because it's going to be a lot of bloat and shitty weight. With Anavar, are you really going to build any muscle? Like, I don't know. Like, it's super dry, super lean. You get fucking crazy strength. You feel so fucking good on it. Like, to me, there's no downside of Anavar. Well, there's one downside of Anavar I talked about earlier. The fucking lower back pumps that you can get, even bicep pumps that you can get that are like fucking workout ending pumps. Like your muscles just fucking hurting so bad you cannot lift through it. That would be the only negative. And I think with proper electrolyte balance, you can pretty much prevent that. I would do Anavar every single day for the rest of my life if my fucking liver would tolerate it. It's the only reason that it's not an absolute staple in my routine. And so yeah, Dbol feels great. It makes you strong. I think Anavar makes you way stronger than Dbol, honestly. And I think the high that you get the positive that you get from Anavar, I think, is way more useful in like a worldly sense. Like you can take Anavar and go to work and kill it at work and have a great day. You can take Anavar and go to the fair with your wife and have a great day. Like you can take Anavar and function. When I take Dbol, dude, I have so much fucking pent up energy. Like I can't sit still. I'll be out just walking laps around my neighborhood at night, just trying to bring the fucking energy level down. It's like great in the gym, but it's a lot to cope with just on a day-to-day basis. I got freakishly strong on Anavar. I didn't take Dbol long enough to really. I took 30 milligrams of Dbol and I take 30 milligrams of Anavar, and I do not recall being stronger on the Dbol. But like I said, I wasn't on it for very long, so yeah. Well, it's getting late. I need to probably get off here. If anybody has any final questions, before I fucking run, go watch my sex videos. I made 2 videos on how to get sex from your wife every day and how to cope with sex problems in your marriage. And then I made 2 highly controversial videos today about how to stop illegal immigration and how to solve the homelessness problem in America. If you haven't watched those videos, I think they're probably rather enlightening, to say the least. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Crazy how Doucette and Larry Wheels say they done like 100 milligrams. Dude, I don't like, I hear this all the time. I tend to agree with Vigorous Steve on this. I don't always agree with Vigorous Steve. Vigorous Steve made a video a long time ago saying that he thought 50 milligrams of Anavar was crazy. That 30 milligrams was plenty enough, and that he felt like guys who were taking 50 plus milligrams of VAR, that they just didn't have good VAR. And again, I hate to tell somebody that their gear is like underdosed or not real, but that has definitely been my experience. I certainly cannot imagine taking 100 unless there's just some massive diminishing return on the psychological effect, which is possible. It's possible that there's an amount of Anavar that's going to give you the maximum psychological intensity, and then any dose above that is just going to be more anabolism and androgenicity. If that's the case, then fine. But if you feel Anavar, 7 times, like if the psychological feeling that you get from 30 milligrams of Anavar is amplified times 3 at 100 milligrams, I don't know how the fuck you could sit still like that. I have no idea. I don't think it's necessary, but I've never tried to take it up above 30 to find out. Yeah, I think people get a lot of, it's crazy to me. Like I've never gotten gear that wasn't gear, thankfully. And I've talked to a lot of people who have. It's crazy in these live streams, some of the things I've seen people say, and in comments, people are buying gear in Discord channels and all over the place. Like I have never bought gear that didn't come from somebody that was publishing lab results online and didn't have an entire community of people who were reporting that they ordered the product, that it arrived in a particular amount of time, that they took the product, and the product gave them the expected results. If I can't find that data about a product, I will not fucking take it. So there's no way in hell I'm buying anything off of fucking Discord or from a guy at the gym, nothing. Like I want to be able to go on MesoRx and find your thread and see that you have been doing business with hundreds of people for an extended period of time, and everything that you're providing is more or less legit. I always thought Pharmacom was crap. Good Life and Stanford on Meso scene. Yeah, I had great results from Pharmacom injectables. I built the vast majority of my physique on Pharmacom injectables before I switched to QSC. I've never used those other guys. So anyway, there you have it. I think I'm gonna cut this short right at the 2 hour mark. Thanks for everybody who trickled in. I know that I don't really give anybody the opportunity with these things. I never know when I'm gonna go live. I started this out to just talk about the Tren apnea that I was experiencing. So if you've been in here, you might go back to the beginning and see that part. I didn't want to make an entire video about it. And I guess I got lonely because I had COVID. And I just laid in the bed for fucking weeks. So I decided to go live. It's been good talking to all you guys. I guess as always, we'll see you on the next one.